Hello there. Thank you for your patience in waiting for this slightly delayed third video in our Way Less, Live More in 2017 video series. We're just finished our second week of the new year and just finished the first week of this video series. Thank you for those of you who have given feedback on what you were helped by in this video series thus far. It's very much appreciated. The first item in our item of 4 today, and the first item being related to an unexpected cause of weight gain, is fat-free foods and the fat substitutes in those fat-free foods specifically. I find this one kind of ironic because the substitutes that are in fat-free foods can sometimes create some of the situations that we actually talked about with artificial sweeteners in the last video. If you haven't seen that video, definitely encourage you to go check that one out. But with artificial sweeteners, for example, we talked about two main issues that we can encounter with that. The first one being related to some artificial sweeteners not breaking down in our body as well and not passing from our body as well. And then we also talked about fats in the previous day, specifically concerning having an excessive amount of healthy fats. So one of the things we talked about in that is that we actually need fats. Fats are not bad for us. It just depends on the type of fat in terms of whether our body will benefit from it or not. So the monounsaturated fats and the polyunsaturated fats were the ones that we talked about. It's good to incorporate more of those in moderation and maybe to more times than not avoid the trans fats and the saturated fats. Those are the fats that typically we want to stay away from. And those are usually the causes why people think they need to eat fat-free foods. But incorporating those two items that we talked about in the last 2 days, it's a good segue into this third item in that it's good for us to think more so in terms about how do we add the healthy fats into our consumption rather than eating fat-free food, which can create more of a situation when we were actually trying to remedy a situation. Second item for today in terms of a tip to drop the pounds is to eat mindfully. A couple of days ago, we talked about chewing our food well because digestion starts in our mouth. And how do we chew our food well? Although we broke that down a little bit, you could also think of that in terms of eating mindfully. And how do we eat mindfully? Well, to eat without distraction. So for many of us, a number of our distractions are related to the television, the computer, our cell phone, and our tablets, or any other electronic device. So it's good to turn these off or to put these away during mealtime. Also, and further, more so, we can arrange our food in a particular way that's appetizing. We can light a candle. That way, it just creates an environment where we can savor and enjoy our food without anything to interrupt us as much as possible. The third item for today, in terms of a factor that could be weighing us down, is a negative workplace or environment. So you consider if you have a disrespectful boss or gossiping coworkers, many times the environment that those dynamics can create stress responses in our being, making us feel unuseful, making us feel stupid, making us feel judged, and all kinds of other things, for example. And most of us spend at least 40 hours a week in our work situation, in our day job situation, if not more than that. And you consider, how am I spending most of my waking hours? How does it make me feel? What does it produce in me? And it's worth our time is worth us considering, okay, what ways can I improve the work environment that I'm in? Or if it's beyond anything that I can do to contribute to improve the work environment, what else can I do in terms of finding another job? Obviously, we have responsibilities, bills we need to pay, in some cases, families that we need to take care of. But all those very reasons for maybe staying at a job actually are the very things that should encourage us to actually look for and be in an environment that feeds us in so many different ways. And then finally, an item to feed your soul is to schedule fun time. So sometimes clients, when I speak to them, as well as just people that I meet related to health and wellness, they say that they have a tendency to eat when they're bored or stressed, even sometimes overeat. And so it's good to have something that you can spend your time doing that makes you laugh, activities that you enjoy, playtime, if you will. And I like the word schedule, because just like we schedule a number of other different things to make sure that it takes place, we also should schedule our fun time. This will be helpful because many times we're waiting for a time to open up for us to do that. And if we're waiting for a time to open up, that time many times doesn't actually come. And so it's good to schedule a pocket of time for us to do something that we enjoy. So for example, I personally enjoy watching basketball. It's been a little while since I've played it, but I enjoy watching basketball, whether it's by myself, whether it's with a group of people. I'm not a diehard fan. There are a couple of teams that I follow, a college team and an NBA team. I don't know all the stats of all the players, but I enjoy watching that sport. That's a good release for me, so to speak. So it serves us well also to make sure that we get some time in to enjoy ourselves and other people if we decide to spend our time that way. So that wraps up our 4 items for this video series. Of course, you'll hear from me in the next couple of days, but I'd love to hear from you what you were helped from this time as well. You have a great rest of your weekend.